following is a live presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and or future, and brought to you by DigitalDice.com, the best podcast on the interwebs for your sports simulations and replay needs. Find us today at Spotify, Spreaker, iTunes, or wherever else fine podcasts are listed. See, I'd flunk that for voice production. Because we ran so long yesterday, 17 innings in an hour and a half, we did not get to play the rest of the day, Sunday the 11th of June on camera, nor tell you what you're going to see today. So let's start here. Unless you're already watching live, you can see where the hashtags are. Milwaukee, let's start with there. Sweeps a doubleheader from the Blue Jays. 11-1 in the opener. Larry Sorensen goes to 10-3, and Andy Ripple gets the winner in the nightcap, 15-2. One of those games, Milwaukee pounds out 18 hits, and Ben Ogilvie had 4. The Brewers are now 3 back of the Yankees. The Giants beat the Mets 5-3. Randy Moffett, Billie Jean King's brother, gets the win in 11 innings. He goes to 2-4. Darrell Evans hits his 5th of the year. Cleveland 4, Minnesota 3. Alan Kinney goes to 2-1, and Gary Serum, and I think it's Dennis Kinney. Alan Kinney's a kid I went to school with 1,000 years ago. Anyway, Gary Serum takes a loss. Minnesota steals 5, by the way, in that loss. The Expos shut out the Dodgers. Ross Grimsley, 9-inning, 2-hitter. Doug Rowd takes a loss. Grimsley goes to 8-3. You'll see the Dodgers and the Phillies in a moment. Detroit shuts down Kansas City 9-2. Lance Parrish, 2 homers, now has 7 on the year. He had 3 hits and drove in 4. Pittsburgh beats the Reds 9-2. Jim Rooker goes to 7-3. Tom Hume 1-8. Ed Ott 3-4 with 2 RBI and a triple. The Phillies, who you'll see in a moment, shuts down Atlanta 3-2. Gene Garber, Atlanta likes him. He gets the win. He goes to 4-0. Mike Schmidt 3-5, 2 RBI and a stolen base. San Diego shuts out Chicago 4-0. Bob Shirley, surely you jest. No, I don't, not even on this April Fool's Day. Gets the win. He goes to 6-3. Gene Tennis 1-2 with 2 walks. The game you watched, Houston 10, St. Louis 5. Ken Forsch gets his first win of the year in 17 innings. Yep, 17 innings. California 9, the Yankees 5. Don Asse goes to 3-5. Dick Tidrow takes a loss. He goes to 5-3. Jim Spencer for the Yankees, 3-4 with his 4th home run of the year. The Red Sox 10, the Mariners 3. Dennis Eckersley goes to 5-6, and Jim Rice hit a pair of homers. He now has 22 in the Red Sox first 58 games. Baltimore 4, Oakland 1. Scott McGregor goes to 6-3. Doug DeCinces hits his 12th of the year. Chicago pounds out 19 hits in an 8-3 win over Texas. Francisco Barrios gets the win. By the way, Houston committed 4 errors, and I think everything else is right along the line. As Retro Sports Network presents Major League Baseball Replay 1978 tonight from Los Angeles, California. It is the Philadelphia Phillies and the Los Angeles Dodgers in a battle and maybe a preview of the National League Championship Series. And once again, we just had this matchup last week. Bert Hooton for the Dodgers and Jim Longboard for the Phillies on a 75-degree beautiful night at Chavez Ravine. You are F9, and I hit this button. How you doing, Robbie, for Energizer Batteries in DC? How are you? And so we've reached Monday night, the 12th of June, 1978, and hopefully ABC covered this game. But a dandy for you. Those Dodgers, 36-21, facing the 31-21 Phillies, trying to get past the Pittsburgh Pirates, while the Dodgers trying to stave off the Houston Astros. So all 4 divisional races, as we start this week, the middle of June, are now within 5 games. And so we should have high-quality matchups for you a lot over the next 7 days. So Bert Hooton going for his 9th win and probably on the verge of clinching an all-star spot, while Jim Longboard just wants to survive the whole blessed thing. Before we start the baseball game in earnest, a note of sadness here. This has nothing to do with the virus, but if you grew up in Vermont or grew up in the range of WCAX television and are over the age of 50, and you could be in Montreal, their original sports director, Tony Adams, who was the sports department for Vermont's largest and at first only television station for 35 years, died at 95 yesterday afternoon. Tony, between giving us filmed highlights 24 hours later from Red Sox games and Celtics games and having travel-sponsored tours of Greece and Italy and showing slides on his broadcast, he had 15 minutes a night at 6:40 every night because we had an hour-long news, which kept Vermont going as far as sports. If you were a high school champion, you were interviewed by Tony Adams, or at least the captains of the team, and those goofy-looking, so tell me what'd you do, and deer in the headlights with every kid with bad hair and all that for 1,000 years. So Tony was how most of us got our sports on television outside of the weekends. He made it to 95. Outside of his legacy in the world of Vermont sports, he was a 30-plus year volunteer at our hospital. He wheeled you around. He held your hand. He was overall a very, very nice man. And his catchphrase was good night and good sports. Good night, Tony, and good sports to you, too. All right, now to the ball game. And so Bert Hooton, who was trying to go 9-3 on the year, has a 3.36 ERA. This is start number 12 for him. He has 8 complete games. Tribe fan, how are you? Post lunch, yeah, I had a ham and some Utz chips today. Happy Hooton. That sounds rather dirty if you ask me. And his last time out was against the Mets. That's why I saw him. He went 9 innings. He threw a 2-hitter on the 7th. He allowed a run, it was earned. He walked 2 and struck out 5. So in 91 innings, he's allowed 88 hits, 38 runs, 34 earned, 12 homers. Walked 14, struck out 38, and has a fastball of 85. He's a ground ball pitcher. And that should benefit him here at Dodger Stadium. 75 degrees as the sun sets over the San Gabriels. Not a cloud in the sky. The chamber says, here's your welcome, America. Winds are blowing out to right at 9 miles an hour, and Rick Monday's out there, so watch to see what happens. So here's how the Phillies line up to start this week. Bake McBride will lead off in right field. Larry Boa at short will bat second. Michael Schmidt will bat third and play third. Greg Luzinski cleans up in left. Richie Hebner at first will bat fifth. Gary Maddox in center will go sixth. Bob Boone behind the plate will bat seventh. Jim Morrison looks for his L.A. woman at second, will bat eighth, and Mr. Longboard is on the mound and will bat ninth. Defensively for the Dodgers, Dusty Baker a 7-4 in left. Billy North a 5-3 in center. Rick Monday a 4-3 in right. Ron Say is a 7 at third. Ted Martinez is at short, not Bill Russell. He's a 5. Davey Lopes is a 10 at second. Steve Garvey a 9 at first. Yeager behind the plate. Steve's a 7 and an 8. And Hooton, who here's a who, is an 8 with a 9.78 fielding percentage. Robbie, I'm doing pretty good. It's a Wednesday. Got my 4 minutes of sunshine to pick up a nice coffee from my neighborhood Dunkin' Donuts using the app. So there you have it. So McBride comes in at 243, 3 homers and 14 RBI. And so after all that preamble, let's play some baseball. Hooton delivers. McBride pops it up right side. Monday's there. Monday's always there. 1 out. For Boa at 349, 9 doubles and 20 RBI. Say and Garvey play for the bunt. Hooton deals. Boa swings. Martinez in on the grass in front of the bag. Over to first. 2 out. Brings up Schmidt on a 7-game hitting streak. His average is now up to 246. Had a pair of homers against the Braves, and now has 4 on the year with 30 home runs, or 30 RBI. Pitch from Houghton, and Schmidt tags this one to left center. North is there, and that will retire the side. All that for about a minute of baseball. Half an inning in the books, no score. So Jim Longborg, and it's Lawn, not Long, is 3-4. This is his 11th start, and an ERA, a devilish one of 6.67. He is a fastball pitcher. He is a fly ball pitcher. And that fastball tops out at 83. On the 7th of June, he went 6 1/3 against the Giants in a loss. He went 7 innings, 6 1/3 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs all earned. He walked 2 and struck out a season-high 6. So in 55 1/3 innings, he's allowed 71 hits, 41 runs, all earned, 11 homers. He's walked 26 and struck out 31. Can't do it too often, Robbie. They don't really want us outside. But the sun was out, not very warm. I think it was 34 degrees here this morning. But got my 4 or 5 minutes of vitamin D and sun in me. And this will be the lineup he'll face. Davey Lopes leads off at second base. Billy North is in center. He'll bat second. Steve Garvey hits third. He'll play first. Ronnie Say is cleaning up at third. Dusty Baker will bat fifth in left field. Rick Monday can never get away from the Mondays. He's in right and will hit sixth. Teddy Martinez, the shortstop, will bat seventh. Steve Yeager will catch and bat eighth. And Bert Houghton, who threw 10 pitches in his half of the first, will hit ninth. Defensively for the Phillies, Luzinski, a 4 4 in left. Gary Maddox, a 10 6 in center. Bake McBride, a 9 8 in right. Mike Schmidt is a 10 at third. He's playing for a bunt I'm not going to do. Larry Boa is a 10 at short. Jim Morrison riding through the storm as a 6 at second. And Richie Hebner at first is a 6. Bob Boone is a Walmart player, or Woolworth, depending on how old you are, a 10 and a 5. Mr. Lonborg is a 7 on the mound, should not commit an error. Lopes at 279, 6 homers and 20 RBI. And the pitch to Davey is a liner in the left center field. Lopes turns for 2. He's going for 3. The throw into Schmidt, not in time. Oh, it is in time. How about that? It is. Maddox has a good arm. Let's show that again. That was all the way in the gap, and Maddox timed it perfectly. I think Lopes is kind of slowed down around second, and he throws to Schmidt, who put the tag on to Lopes to retire the batter. So it's a double for Lopes, and he's thrown out trying to stretch it into a triple. And there's one out for North, who's at 200 with 4 RBI. JT Dutch, how are you? I'm sure Luzinski being a 4 and a 4, yeah, that's about right. Not far from a Duncan as Tribe fan. So the Phillies doing some magic in the field. Pitch to North, who's not going to bunt, pops it up right side. Morrison is there. And there's 2 out for Garvey at 323. 7 homers and 39 RBI. Bottom of the first, and the Dodgers kind of ran themselves out of that one. Pitch to Garvey. Into left, Luzinski out of play. No, he made the catch. He reached in the stands to grab it. So he took it away from some whiny-nosed kid from Long Beach. How about that? No runs, 1 hit, and thrown out. No errors. After 1, it's the Phillies nothing, the Dodgers nothing. So an eventful first for the Dodgers. And that'll bring up Greg Luzinski with Hebner and Maddox to follow. Luzinski at 225, 14 homers and 45 RBI. Pitch from Houghton. And there's one in the gap to left center field. Luzinski is going to stop at second. He's in there standing, huffing and puffing. But that's the first hit for the Phillies. JT Dutch was born in Long Beach. How about that? I love it. I love it. That's great. Here's Hebner. Richie at 260, 5 homers, and 22 RBI. Pitch from to Hebner. Ground ball to first. Garvey will take it to the bag himself, and Lazinski goes to third. And Long Beach, as most of you know, is right next to San Pedro. 405,000 people live in Long Beach. Gary Maddox, not one of them. He's at 279, 3 homers, and 17 RBI. John, your next game is going to be Saturday night. Pitch from Houghton into left. Baker will make the catch. Lazinski goes back to tag. He will score without a throw, and with 2 out, the Phillies go up 1-0. So if you just missed it, Dusty Baker, Davey Lopes was thrown out in the bottom of the first, trying to stretch a double into a triple. So 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, 8 Eastern, 4 Pacific. Because we do the, or 5 Pacific, because we do the Dave Gardner support chat. So here's Bob Boone, 275, 4 homers, and 21 RBI. Pitch to Boone, nobody on, and Houghton struck him out. Lake called strike 3 on a breaking ball on a full count. But the Phillies get a run. On a hit, no errors. After an inning and a half, Philadelphia won, the Dodgers nothing. And as Ron Say steps to the plate, you can see that the Dodgers have a half-game lead over Houston. They won that marathon Houston did yesterday. An hour and a half it took to do that game. The Reds are 5 back. They lost to the Pirates on Sunday, and no one else is even in the ballpark, although San Francisco has won 5 straight. Pittsburgh by a game and a half over the Phils and 4 over Montreal. Everybody's starting to win again. The Cubbies 8.5 back. The Mets and the Cardinals. You saw the Cardinals for the only time at home. California now is a half-game lead over Kansas City as the Angels have won 4 straight. The Royals have lost 3 straight. Minnesota and Chicago hanging around. Texas going the wrong way, but they're only 8 out. And in the East, because the Yankees got tripped up by the Angels, Baltimore, Milwaukee, Boston, Detroit, and Cleveland have all cut the gap to under 10 games. Say at 251, 9 homers and 32 RBI. Pitch from Longborg is into right. McBride will make the catch in the gap. 1 away for Dusty Baker at 289, 3 homers and 23 RBI. For the Dodgers, this is game 58, and for the Phillies, it's game 53. Pitch to Dusty into left center. Maddox rides the pony and makes the catch for the out. 2 quick out for Rick Monday at 258, 7 homers and 23 RBI. Longborg deals, and Monday slaps this one in the corner and right. McBride, that's off the wall. Monday's got 2. Monday's going for third. The throw to Schmidt, and this time Monday got in. Under the tag. Nope, Davey Lopes gets thrown out trying to triple, and Rick Monday, of all people, does triple. And yep, another case of the Mondays here. Brings up Ted Martinez, who's hitting .368, 7 for 19, with no homers or RBI. Trying to tie this game, 2 outs in the bottom of the second. Pitch from Longborg is a liner in the right center. The game is tied. Martinez holds with a single, and Monday scores. And so the Dodgers have tied this game at 1. For Yeager, at 219, 6 homers and 23 RBI. Lasorda sends Martinez to throw down to Morrison, and Martinez is in there. Good morning, Lorenzo. So Ted Martinez has the steal. And so Yeager, with 2 outs and a 1-ball count, can try to give the Dodgers a lead here with the base hit. Pitch to Yeager, and there's a base hit in the left. Martinez will round third and score. And the Dodgers have a 2 spot up here in the second. And so Lorenzo joined just in time, because the Dodgers are now up 2-1. Here's Bert Hooton hitting .296 with 4 RBI. And Hooton slaps this one into left field. Yeager, a statue, will park himself at second. And that's 2 outs for Lopes, who doubled to start the ball game and was thrown out trying to stretch that into a triple. That's like me trying to put a little more butterscotch on the ice cream. I'm not supposed to do it, and you're going to get in trouble for it every once in a while. So through 9 batters, Lonborg has thrown 28 pitches, an inning and 2/3, 5 hits, both runs are earned, and a 10.80 ERA. And Lorenzo has a knack for sensing when my Big Blue is close to a score. Well, I haven't played the Giants in a while, but okay. So here's Lopes. First and second, 2 out. Yeager on second, Hooton on first. Pitch to Davey is fouled behind the plate off the Mascaboon, and it's a 1-strike count. So Longborg trying to do his best to give the Phillies 5, I would think. Lopes ground ball to third. Schmidt goes to Morrison for the easy out, and that will retire the side. 2 runs, 4 hits, and no errors. After 2, the Dodgers pull ahead 2-1. I'm waiting for Lorenzo to respond back on that one. So Morrison, Lonborg, and McBride to face Hooton here in the third. The shot of whiskey got Lorenzo through. Morrison at .236, 5 homers and 15 RBI. Hooton from the wind. Ball 4. So you never want to walk the 8-hitter. And that'll bring up Mr. Lonborg, who's at .267. He's 4 for 15. And RBI. So I looked up. That's true. Better Big Blue than walking the 9-hitter. Good morning, good afternoon to you. Lorenzo did a shot of whiskey and 6 beer chasers. Listening to some George Thorogood. 1 scotch, 1 bourbon, 1 beer. JT Dutch is also a Dodger fan. Garvey and Say play for the inevitable sacrifice bunt here. Longborg squares. Yeager throws to Lopes, covering, and that's an out. So Morrison moves to second, 1 away for Bake McBride, who's 0 for 1. Hooton through 9 batters, 34 pitches, 2 1/3 innings, a hit, a walk, and a strikeout. There are 3 Dodger fans in the stream right now, Lorenzo, because DJ John is one too. No Whiskey Burnsmore going down. Pitch to McBride is into right field. Monday will turn and watch it go. Oh, man, was that ball hammered. So McBride hits his 4th, and that's halfway up the bleachers, and the Phillies go up 3-2. There wasn't a blessed thing Monday could do but turn and watch it go. What about the scotch? I don't know, Mark. When I do drink, and it's not very often, I'm a gin and tonic guy myself. So the Phillies get their second hit and go up 3-2. And this stream has already kind of gone off the rails. Larry Bowa is 0 for 1. And that sounds like a song. I'm a number 1 Giant. No, I don't know. Lorenzo's in Giant country, too. Scotch is seductive and smooth, like a pretty girl in a black dress. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean, Lorenzo is in Fresno, John. Whereabouts are you? Pitch to Boa is a ground ball. Lopes behind the bag over to first for the out. So we've got 2 Dodger fans in Giant country. Brings up Mike Schmidt, who's 0 for 1. He's sitting on a 7-game hitting streak. 2 out, top the third. Schmidt into center. North will flag that one down, and that will retire the side. 2 runs, 1 hit, and no errors on the home run by Bake McBride. 2.5 in the books. It's Philadelphia 3, the Dodgers 2. Off the rails like, oh no, we do trying to keep some semblance going here. And Dave's chat was nothing like, a good old-fashioned chat with Al. Billy North, by the way, 0 for 1. So Lorenzo and DJ John are up there. DJ John is near Sacramento. North to swing, and Longborg walks him. That's not what the Phillies needed. And North is going to go. Big Clue hated the Dodgers of the Tommy Lasorda years, but I love the Dodgers of the Andrew Friedman era. Whereabouts are you, Big Clue? So North goes. Boone will throw down to Morrison, and North has it stolen. That's the 6th since he came over from Oakland. And the Dodgers had the tying run on for Garvey, who's 0 for 1. Jimmy deals, and that got away from Boone. North moves up 90 on the wild pitch. So a ball and a strike, and Garvey can pick up his 40th RBI in a sleep if he chooses to. Makes contact. Maddox going back. It's gone. So a 2-run shot from Garvey into dead center field. And it's now 4-3 Dodgers. Big Clue, Klazuski, that should have given it away, is from the Cincinnati area. Is a big Red Machine fan. And so here it is again. Garvey. Yep, looked like it was going to go about 3/4 of the way. Yep, this is a slugfest here at the stadium. And so it's 4-3, nobody out in the bottom of the 3rd. Dodger Stadium with the wind blowing out to right now at 11. Lefties have a 4% better chance of getting a hit. Righties at +1. Home runs +12 for lefties and 13 for righties. Yep. It's like the Force. Say's 0 for 1. Longboard delivers, and there's a fly ball to right. McBride, goodbye. Down the line and gone. And it's now 5-3 Los Angeles. Opposite field job for Ronnie Say. And let's see if Houghton can hold on to that. That's Say's 10th. Dusty Baker's 0 for 1. Yep, Say went opposite field. Longborg's pitch is line drive right to Morrison, who leaps and makes a good catch. And there's finally one out here in the 3rd. Rick Monday tripled. He had one real-life triple in '78, and he's got it now on his 12th day of June. Pitch from Jimmy. Popped up left side. Schmidt by the Philly dugout. And it'll bounce in and give Danny Ozark a thrill. And the count goes to 2-2. Yep, Say, especially with the Cubs, a big part of that '84 Cubs team is underrated. He's definitely up there with Cecil Cooper and Dwight Evans in the Hall of the Underrated. Pitch to Monday. And to right, McBride, gone. And so the Dodgers have gone kaboom 3 times in this inning, and it's now 6-3. McBride chased, but there wasn't much he could do. And those fans along the corner on the right field side are getting some souvenirs. Computer runs the Phillies. They'll decide when they want to get rid of Gentleman Jim. Lorenzo just slid in the cockpit of his Firetail Anib, so forgive me if he's a bit distracted. So the Dodgers looking to get a win. It's an as-played lineup, so it's whatever Tommy wanted on that particular day to make it fair for everybody. So Ted Martinez is hit by a pitch, and Lasorda barks out of the dugout. He's screaming at Longborg. Longborg and Lasorda have some words. Martinez just goes to first. Boone and Lasorda have some words. They finally get Tommy back in the dugout. Tommy says a few words in Italian that aren't pasta lasagna. Longborg says, go eat some of that Slim Fast pasta sauce, you big fat pig. Lasorda wishes him a happy Flag Day, but I'm not sure that's what he said, and they get Tommy back in the dugout. Yeager's 1 for 1, and that's into center field. Maddox will be there. And Martinez goes back, and there's finally 2 out. Bert Hooton, 1 for 1. A go Fokaka in there somewhere. I'm sure there was a couple. Pitch, a throw to first. Martinez back. 6-3 Dodgers. They put 4 on the board here in the bottom of the 3rd. Pitch to Hooton. Ground ball up the middle. Boa to first. Hooton is out on the bang banger. But a home run palooza for the Dodgers here in the 3rd. They put 4 on the board. 3 hits and no errors. After 3, it's the Dodgers 6, the Phillies 3. So it'll be Luzinski, Hebner, and Maddox. Greg doubled his first time up and scored. And if Hooton hits anybody here, I'd imagine the benches might go. Pitch to Luzinski, fouled behind the plate, and it's a ball and 2 strikes. So tension's running high here at the stadium. Pitch to Luzinski. In the left, Baker in the corner makes a catch. That looked like that might go, but the wind is blowing out to right, and that stayed in the yard. 1 away for Hebner, who's 0 for 1. Pitch from Hooton, and there's a liner in the left center field. So Hebner has a hit. That's the 3rd for Philadelphia. Brings up Maddox. And a sac fly his first time up. So has an RBI. Hebner on first. There's a ground ball to Hooton. The only play is to first. He throws it to Garvey. Hebner goes to second. That looked like that was a hit and run. And there's 2 out. For Bob Boone, who struck out his first time up. 2 outs, top the 4th. Pitch to Boone. Ball 4. And yep, we're already running way over. So Hebner and Boone are on. 2 on and 2 out for Morrison, who walked and scored. Pitch from Hooton. In the left, Baker makes the catch in the alley to retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, and no errors. After 3.5, it's the Dodgers 6, the Phillies 3. So Lonborg probably, I don't know, he's due up to lead off the 5th. So through 18 batters, 3 innings, 55 pitches, 8 hits, he's allowed 3 home runs. All 6 of those runs are earned, by the way, for Los Angeles. He's walked 1 and struck out none. Lopes 1 for 2 was thrown out trying to stretch a double into a triple to lead off the ball game. Right back to Jimmy for the first out. So a 2-1 fastball gets the goalie save, and there's 1 away for Billy North. Stole his 6th base. He is 0 for 1. He walked and scored. And this time he laces 1 past a diving Hebner, and McBride will pick it up. And so 1 out for Garvey. It is 8th of the year, and has driven in 41. He's 1 for 2. J.T. Dutch tells us that Reggie Smith didn't start this game in real life because he sprained a rotator cuff, according to the Los Angeles Times. Well, there you go. Throw to first. North is back. Hit and run is on. Garvey line drive to Morrison, and they got North picked off. Well done. Throw to first is in time, and the Dodgers are down. No runs, a hit, no errors. After 4, it's still the Los Angelinos 6, the Philadelphians 3. So let's see what they do with Mr. Lonborg. 3 runs, 3 hits, no errors for the Phils. They've left 2 on. 6 runs, 9 hits, no errors for the Dodgers. They've left 3 on. Lonborg sacrificed his first time up. Yep, and Reggie is another deeply underrated great. One of the biggest comebacks in baseball history. The score going in the eighth was the Dodgers 12, Phillies 1. A few innings later, the final score was 13-12. My voice couldn't take that. It streamed for 3 hours yesterday because I did an hour and a half with Dave. I would take Dewey over Smith and Wright, but Reggie certainly was clearly underrated. Longborg stays, hits a liner into left center field. He's going for 2 in there. Slides in a safe. So the fourth hit for the Phils. And Houghton is at 67 pitches through 18 batters, 4+ innings. 4 hits. The home run to McBride, who's at the plate. He has walked 2 and struck out 1. Pitch to Bake, who homered his last time up, is ball 4. So Houghton isn't covering himself in glory either. Brings up Larry Boa, who's 0 for 2. Yeah, down 5-0 after 2 and coming back to win 6-5. I love baseball, but yeah, my voice was shot after an hour and a half. The football games, you can kind of pace yourself. You know you're going for that. I had a pinch hit for Longborg, but pitch count-wise, he's only at 66. They're only down 3. Pitch to Boa, who's 0 for 2. Ground ball to Lopes. They might get 2. Martinez for 1. Over to Garvey. No, sir. McBride is retired on the fielder's choice, 4-6. So Longborg on third and Boa on first. 1 out for Schmidt, who's 0 for 2. Yeah, last year's baseballs were getting used for the home runs. So anyway, football, you know you're going to go for an hour and a half, and so you can pace yourself. But in a baseball game that goes 17 innings, you just don't know. And you spend a lot of that energy in the first 9 thinking you only got to talk for an hour. Pitch to Schmidt, who's 0 for 2. Snap throw to first. Boa back. Count is 1-0 to Mike. Schmidt sitting on a 7-game hitting streak. Pitch to Schmidt. Line drive. Say is there for the second out. Greg Luzinski has himself a double and a run score. Yep, and that is the beauty of baseball. You listening, Gardner? You listening? I'm always looking for the green stuff, Lorenzo. Baseball has no clock. Absolutely. Pitch to Luzinski. Ground ball up the middle. Martinez on the grass. Thank you, sir. Throw to Garvey. That will retire the side. No runs, a hit, no errors. Halfway home, you get the commercial. It's the Dodgers 6, the Phillies 3. Lorenzo, enjoy me drinking coffee. So, home run of Palooza here at Dodger Stadium. Bake McBride, a 2-run shot. Then Garvey saying Monday plowed for 4 in the third. And those are the numbers for the pitchers so far. Longborg not covering himself in clover, and Houghton not doing much better than that. Talking baseball with Dave Gardner is casting pearls before swine. Yes, Gardner is a dyed-in-the-wool hockey fan. And I just think baseball's a bit too slow for him. Blow the Man Down. Sounds like a Popeye movie. Why the Angels' losses aren't visible. Well, I'll show this to you again. Where, now you can see it. See where the hide button is on the bottom right there? The first time that you show the standings on any given game, that hide button is where the losses are for California and Kansas City. And so that's why you don't see it. So when I do an AL West game, I'll throw up the standings real quick so you can. So that's the reason why. Just a glitch the first time the standings are shown. Not a problem. Ronnie Say is 1 for 2. He had a solo shot his last time up the opposite field. Lomborg starts the bottom of the 5th with another drive to right. McBride, this time it stays in the yard, 1 away. Brings up Dusty Baker, who's 0 for 2. Pitch into center. Maddox, 2 out. And so Longborg trying to prove those of you who wanted him gone out. Here's Monday. 2 for 2. He's got a triple and a homer. JT's a hockey fan. I'm a hockey fan too. Pitch to Monday. And there's a single. So now Monday needs a double for the cycle, and he should get up at least one more time, if not twice. So Teddy Martinez singled his first time up. Scored. Stole a base. 1 for 1. And was hit by a pitch in the 3rd. Lasorda and Longborg still yapping out there. Ground ball to short. Boa over to first, and that will, or should, and will, retire the side. No runs, a hit, no errors. Dodgers strand a couple here after 5, 6-3. Yep, a lot of people like both. But, hockey is one of those sports that you can't be half pregnant with. Either you love it or you don't. Hebner's 1 for 2. Maddox and Boone to follow. Richie's got a single. JT Dutch tells us that Bill Russell was apparently tired on this day in real life, which is why he didn't start. Pitch to Richie is a ground ball to Martinez. How about that? Over to Garvey for the out. Martinez's fielding percentage isn't great at .911, but the range is average. Here's Maddox. Sack fly and was 0 for 1. Pitch from Hooten. Into right. Monday. 2 out. For Bob Boone, who's 0 for 1 with a walk and a strikeout. I doubt Hooten goes the distance, but he's in line for his 9th win. Into right. Monday makes the catch to retire the side. The Phils go in order. Newspapers.com, John, does have the full Dodger archive. So it'll be Yeager, Hooten, and Lopes to face Longborg here in the bottom of the 6th. Baseball is his favorite sport. Hockey, yeah, me too. I like hockey a lot. I wish my boss would have reacted the same way every time I pooped about being tired. And so you should know, Lorenzo, now the word bitched is now accepted. Yeager 1 for 2, a single and RBI, fly ball to center. Maddox is there. Yeah, the mod being me. I cleared it. Brings up Bert Hooten, who is singled. He's 1 for 2. Pitch from Longborg. Ball 4. So who was it that said that walking the 9-hitter was the worst thing you can do? You're welcome, America. You're welcome. So Jimmy, through 27 batters, has thrown 86 pitches, 5 in the 3rd innings, 10 hits, 3 homers, 6 runs all earned. He's walked 2 and hasn't struck out anybody. Lopes 1 for 3. Remember, he was doubled and was thrown out trying to stretch that into a triple. I love that sight. Absolutely love that sight. Pitch to Lopes. Into left center. Maddox. Off the wall. Hooten will round third. They're going to send him, and the throw goes into the infield, and that'll do it for Jimmy. Tug McGraw, you got to believe, is coming in. With 1 out in the bottom of the 6th, we got a pitching change. This game is coming to you from Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles. The whole site, Dutch, is a great resource. But let me tell you about Tug McGraw making his 12th appearance on the year. 1-1 with 2 saves and an ERA of 2.08. His specialty is the screwball. His son married Faith Hill, and his fastball tops out at 86. He is a fly ball pitcher. He last pitched on the 9th. He went 4 1/3 over the weekend against Atlanta. Allowed 2 hits and struck out 2. He's thrown 17 1/3 innings, 14 hits, allowed 4 runs, all earned, 1 homer. He has walked 5 and struck out 10. Against the Dodgers in Philadelphia, he went on June 4th. Threw an inning and 2/3, 3 hits, a run, it was earned, no decision, and no save. He struck out 1. Well, remember, they've got Gene Garber, Ron Reed, and Warren Brewster. Their bullpen is deep. And he's not listed as a closer. He's listed as a reliever. You see the 1+ there for the close. You got Ron Reed and Randy Lurch. You can throw a lot of pitches. So, yeah, there's plenty of room in that pen. But McGraw would bat second in the 7th. North is 1 for 2. He has walked, singled, stolen a base, and scored. Lopes on second, and McGraw got North to swing and miss at a 77-mile-an-hour Scroogey. Brings up Garvey, 1 for 3, his 8th homer of the year. He's driven in 41. John, you're not the only one that had a thing for Faith Hill. Pitch to Garvey, struck him out. And so he chased an 0-2 out of the zone, and that will retire the side. The Dodgers get a run on a hit and no errors. They leave run on after 6. It's 7-3. And so McGraw does his job. He holds it to a 4-run game. And so Jim Morrison, the pitcher spot, and McBride to face Houghton here in the 7th. Morrison is 0 for 1. He has walked and scored. Pitch to Jim. Struck him out. Second for Houghton. He swung on and missed an 0-2 curve. And just like George Michael said, Dutch, sometimes you just got to have faith. Thanks, Tim. Tug, if he bats, is 1 for 2. I'd imagine the computer will pinch hit for him here. They do not, and McGraw strikes out. And so that's probably the right move. There's nobody on. You have a good pitcher on the mound. He could use the work. And with Say Baker and Monday coming up. Here's McBride. So Houghton threw 27 batters, 100 pitches, 6 2/3 innings, 4 hits. The home run to McBride, 3 runs all earned. He's walked 3 and struck out 3. Newspapers.com. Yep. Chicago Tribune, Los Angeles Times, Boston Globe, St. Louis, whatever their paper is, the Detroit Free Press, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, the New York Daily News, the Philadelphia Inquirer. Does Dave G even know who Faith Hill is? I'm sure he does, only because she did Sunday Night Football for a while. And I like soft music, too. I'm not a metalhead. Pitch to McBride is a line drive to Monday. That seems like real life right now, doesn't it? Stretch time. Nancy Dell sings away. 7-3 Dodgers. And so Nancy playing for some Farmer John Dodger dogs. And remember, the farmer is always in the Dell. Did Tim McGraw act? Dave G thinks that Faith Hill is part of the cast of King of the Hill. You know what? I'm going to pay for that tonight. Here's Say. Ronnie hit an opposite field homer. He's 1 for 3, and this is St. Louis Post-Dispatch. He was in The Blind Side. The Michael Orr story. Pitch to Say is a liner to Morrison for the first out. 1 away for Dusty Baker, who's 0 for 3. 7 runs, 11 hits, no errors for the Dodgers. They've left 5 on. 3 runs, 4 hits, no errors, and 4 left on for the Phils. Pitch to Baker. Ground ball to third. Schmidt over to first. 2 out. Brings up Rick Monday. Remember, yep, JT Dutch says it in the chat. He needs a double for the cycle. Oh, Lorenzo says that McGraw was the abusive father of one of the players in Friday Night Lights. Okay. Too bad Tug never pitched for Cleveland. I sense a bad joke coming, but go ahead and tell it. So Monday needs a double. I'm not sure I've ever had a cycle. And then he and his son could be Indian outlaws. Good one, Clue. Good one. Pitch to Monday is line right back to Tugger, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. We've played 7. It's still 7-3. Dodgers. So Boa, Schmidt, and Luzinski. Boa 0 for 3. Hooten conceivably could go the route. Ground ball to Lopes. Over to Garvey, 1 away. The dad joke of the day. Schmidt still working on a 7-game hitting streak. He's 0 for 3. Hooten's throwing a 4-hitter, 1 out top the 8th. Bird's pitch struck him out. He swung on and missed an 85-mile-an-hour fastball, and that's 4 for the Hoot. Brings up Luzinski, who doubled and scored. The Dodgers trying to keep pace over the Houston Astros, and they are loving this result in Pittsburgh. Pitch to the Bull. Up the middle, Martinez throws it across the way, and that will be a 6-3 out. So no runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It's the Dodgers 7, the Phillies 3. So Martinez, Yeager, and Hooten, who will get the chance to go the distance. Martinez, 1 for 2. He's got a stolen base, a run scored, and a single. 82 degrees. Oh, Lorenzo, I'm sorry. And the wind's blowing out now to center at 11. Tomorrow night we'll do some trains, Robbie. But we're just trying to do the Dave Gardner stream at 7 or 6:37 Eastern. So thoughts for Lorenzo's aunt and one of her cousins who's been diagnosed with the dreaded disease. That's just tough, buddy. You are in our thoughts. Pitch to Martinez is a liner in the right center field for a base hit. Nope. Stay the bleep home. Martinez has a single. And Yeager now 1 for 3 with an RBI. Don't think we'll get back to Monday again. Well, although it feels like a Monday all the time. So, I will do an all-star game, just like last year. Or just like 82. When we get there, we'll do it. Pitch to Yeager. Struck him out. McGraw got him on an 0-2 Scroogey and 1 away. Hooten's not going to bun up 4 runs. Are you kidding? 1 out. McGraw's thrown 2 innings. He's allowed a hit and struck out 3. Pitch to Hooten. Into center field. Maddox will flag it down, and Martinez retreats back. 2 away for Davy Lopes. He's doubled twice. He's 2 for 4 and driven in a run. First double, he was thrown out trying to stretch it into a triple. Pitch to Lopes is popped up our right side. Morrison is there. And that will retire the side. Hooten going for the complete game. After 8, no runs, a hit, and they leave a man on. It's the Dodgers 7, the Phillies 3. So the Dodgers 7 runs, 12 hits, no errors. They've left 6 on. The Phillies 3 runs, 4 hits, and no errors. And they've left 4 on. Yankee Stadium was 77, so it'll be from Jack Murphy in San Diego. Hebner 1 for 3. Maddox and Boone. Phillies need 4 to tie and 5 to pull ahead. Hooten delivers. Ground ball to Shea. Goes across the way for the out. Brings up Maddox. Gary 0 for 2 with an RBI. And remember, the World Series will have a DH because it starts because it was an even number year. And that's how we did it. Pitch to Maddox. Ground ball up the middle. Past a diving Lopes, and the Phillies have their 5th hit. Bob Boone is 0 for 2. He has walked and struck out. Yeah, I'm so sorry to hear that, Lorenzo. Yeager and Hooten go out and have a conversation. Hooten's pitch. Boone. Chopper to Martinez. Lopes for 1 over to Garvey. And that is the ball game. So they get 2. A fist bump from Hooten, and the Dodgers win this one 7-3. 88? I think 88. Someone will correct me if I'm wrong. So Bert Hooten is our digital dice player of the game. 9 innings, 5 hits. Was it 87? No, it must have been. You know what? It might have been 86 because the Red Sox pitchers did not hit at Fenway, or did not hit at Shea. No problem. We'll do the post game here real quick. 5 innings, 3 runs, all earned the homer. He walked 3 and struck out 4. He goes to 9-3. Longborg, deserved loss, 5 1/3 innings, 11 hits, 7 runs, all earned. He gave up the 3 homers. Tug McGraw, 2 2/3 innings of 1 hit ball and 3 strikeouts. Faced 9 and retired 8. Oh, I forgot about Monday. Yeah, we'll make Rick Monday the player of the game. He was a double short of the cycle. Thanks, JT Dutch. I appreciate it. He goes 3 for 4. Needed a double for the cycle. And so not bad. Not bad at all. All right, so let's do... No, I do that, JT. I do that. The rest of the Monday in baseball, the Cubbies beat the Reds 5-2. Rick Russell goes to 10-4. Bruce Sutter with his 10th save. Wow, a whole bunch of stuff happened today. San Francisco beats Montreal and Steve Rogers 6-4. Evans with a 6th homer. Gary Lavelli with a win. St. Louis shuts out Atlanta 6-0. Pete Vukovich goes to 2-2. Mike Tyson gets the win, his 3rd home run. Seattle goes into Baltimore and beats the Orioles 3-2. Danny Meyer with his 3rd of the year. The Yankees, Ron Guidry goes 10 2/3 innings. He strikes out 16, doesn't get a decision. Sparky Lyle goes to 5-1. The Yankees beat the A's 2-1. Nettles with his 11th of the year. Imagine that. Milwaukee 16-3 over the Tigers. Wowzers. California 10, Boston 7-12. Joe Rudi with the 7th home run of the year. The Red Sox pound 17 hits, including 4 by Freddie Lynn, and lose. Kansas City 2, Texas 1. Doug Bird is the word. He goes to 3-1. George Brett hits his 3rd of the year. Houston beats Pittsburgh 6-5 at the Astrodome in 10 innings. Williams gets the win. Bob Watson hits 2 homers. He now has 7 on the year. Chicago beats Cleveland 4-2. Ken Kravick goes to 3-5. Thornton 2 for 3 with a double. And the Mets, Pat Zachary finally gets his first win. They beat Randy Jones and the Padres 2-0. California, by the way, had 17 hits in their win over Boston. Milwaukee pounded out 21 in their win over Detroit. Noontime game tomorrow from Fenway Park in Boston. It's the Red Sox and the Angels. Dave Gardner, 6:30, 7 o'clock tonight. I'm Ron Juckett. I'll see you there. And until then, you be good to each other. It's all we have. We'll see you later.